All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is right around 5 p.m. West Coast time. I'm going to call it, what is it? 2 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on that there East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I am Ed Statter. I am running late. I just got out of the shower. My hair is not done. So sorry about the kerfuffle. Anyway, we are here. We've got people who came in on a raid. Looks like I'm going to guess it was Terry and Scotland who came in with the raid because I just know it was. And let's see here. I'm sure Katie's, Aura, and Gina came in with their raid. Shock, hello, saying hello to everybody. Let's see, who else do we have here today? It looks like just the Raiders and Shock and eMusic and Rick, and the usual crowd is coming on in. So, fantastic, y'all. Darlene is here as well. Perfect. The usual Statterbox crew. All right, so why don't we get the party started? All right, sorry about that pause on the Black Cat, but you see my little mousy mouse. It's one of those optical ones. I think that's the only way they make them these days. And when cat hairs get caught in them, which never happens at my house, suddenly they don't want to work anymore. And so I was useless there for just 1 second. And so so it looks like daylight savings time has hit the UK, which means the time change difference between the UK viewers and the West Coast viewers, or the US viewers, is going to be all weird and cocky-wumpus, or however that works, for the next week. And then, of course, on November 2nd is when we get to join the daylight savings time crew. Actually, that's not true. We get to join the the standard time is what it is. We're not on daylight savings in a week. We'll be on standard time. And so we'll have to fall back? Yeah, fall back. But right now, the USA, we're on our own time zone. We have not switched over yet. And let's see here. Yeah, ours ends in a week, exactly. And then I don't mind the fallback version of daylight savings time because that means I get an extra hour to stay in bed. It's the spring forward that I don't like. That means it's one less hour to spend in bed. And let's see here, Shock. Now all my former company's meetings are going to be all confused. Well, that's true, but you know what, Shock? Not your problem. Not your problem at all. Which is probably a wonderful, wonderful thing that you must be thinking right now. Not my problem. Biggest problems you've got right now are coordinating times on different streams, and you've already got a solution to that, which is go find your own time zone. Here's the link. And yes, a very confusing time for those of us dealing with Americans. I gotta tell you, dude, I remember when they changed when we do our daylight savings time to be out of sync with the rest of the world. And I don't know if you remember this or not, because it maybe didn't piss you off and as much as it did me, which is why I remember it. But it was George Bush II, and it was Cheney, the Bush-Cheney era. And as part of our energy policy, they decided that extending daylight savings time would save us energy. Like using a light bulb in the morning uses less energy than using a light bulb in the evening, or vice versa. I don't really I never understood what that logic was. And it is just absolutely, to me, the dumbest thing that, well, I can't say it's the dumbest thing that administration did. It's one of the dumber things that administration did. And Pacola T saying hello again from her gate at SeaTac. I swear, Pacola T, you need your own private lounge in SeaTac. You're there so often. Got your Beecher's grilled cheese sando in your bag, ready to board and head home. Yum, yum. For those of you who don't realize or don't know, Beecher's is a cheese making company, a cheesemaker, and they have a shop in Pike Place Market, which they're very famous for, but they also make their own macaroni and cheese, and they advertise it as the world's best macaroni and cheese, and it is very good. I'm not gonna lie, it's a good macaroni and cheese, but I don't think it's the best. I don't. However, first off, I will eat it if it's in front of me, don't get me wrong. It is very delicious. Their regular mac and cheese, it's good, but their gluten-free mac and cheese, oh my god, you guys, that is the best gluten-free mac and cheese in the world. And it has nothing to do with the cheese, oddly enough. It has everything to do with the kind of pasta that they use. Because for those of you who've attempted to do gluten-free or are still successfully doing gluten-free, there's a lot of workarounds in the gluten-free world these days. But pasta really has always been a little bit it's very difficult to replicate, hey, Kenny from the Cove, good to see you. Terry in Scotland, you could never be a good Republican because when I screw everything up, I have a terrible tendency to realize it. Well, actually, Terry, while I can appreciate your sentiment, I feel as though that statement could actually be said, I could never be a good politician because when I screw everything up, because both sides definitely have had their own fair shares of, you can't really be serious, you did that, right? Oh no, we're totally serious. You admit that you did that. Oh yeah, we were proud of it. All right then. But back to the Beechers, dude. Their gluten-free pasta, I don't know who they sourced their pasta from. I don't know who they got their pasta from. But whoever it is that makes the Beecher's gluten-free pasta, that pasta maker has come closest to the proper mouthfeel of pasta. It doesn't just crumble the way a lot of gluten-free pastas do, or dissolve in the sauce the way a lot of gluten-free pastas do, or end up being too rubbery and you're chewing on some bubble gum like some gluten-free pastas are. And so Beecher's, gluten-free, not gluten-free, a sandwich or mac and cheese, I will recommend Beecher's to anyone every day of the week, as long as, of course, they can handle cheese, because that's the ultimate important thing, is whether or not you can handle the cheese. And let's see here. Okay, so since we're already dancing around a potentially dangerous topic, I thought I would share this with you, and if you were on the movie night last night, you already probably know where this is going, but on November 5th, as y'all probably know, the United States is going to be electing their president, along with other particular offices, etc. Now, in Washington State, we are one of the states that has mail-in voting only. And when I say only, that's actually not true. You can vote in person on the day. You can register to vote and vote in person on the day of the election. But for the most part, our main source of voting is by mail. And what that looks like is, we get our little ballot in... Here, hold on. No need to see where I live. We get our little ballot in the mail. But before we get our ballots, the state of Washington sends us out a voter's pamphlet. This voter's pamphlet is for all of the federal and statewide initiatives. This pamphlet, and I use the term pamphlet very loosely, this pamphlet is 112 pages long. Okay, 112 pages long. It explains all of the initiatives, all of the this, all of that. And then we get another voter's pamphlet from our county, and this is just our local county-wide stuff, right? So I don't know if other states, it sounds like other states don't, but other states and counties and localities may not send these out. But Washington makes sure that you have your information at hand before you fill out your little ballot. And let's see here. With the ballot, by the way, Mama Sean, I don't know if I said hello to you, Mitchie Mama. I don't know if I said hello. So, hello, you guys. And also, thank you, Andre, for all of those gift subs. Is what I meant. And yes, yes, Andre. King County is the most important county in the state of Washington. It's literally the largest by land, but it is also the most densely the most populated, not the most densely populated, but the most populated county, and it is where the most money, because it is where Seattle is located. Seattle and Bellevue, actually, it is where it is located. So, but every county, regardless, not just King, every county sends out a county-wide pamphlet as well. And then what they also send out was a little thing that said you got your sticker that says I voted. And then on the other side, they've got a thing for all of the different ballots that you can get in different languages. And then it tells you the closest drop boxes if you don't want to mail it. And for people who like to keep track of it, sign up for ballot alerts. What ballot alerts mean is when your ballot is mailed by the county, you get a text notification saying your ballot has been mailed. So you know to look for it in the mail. When you're done voting and you turn the ballot in, you're going to get a text that says, we have received your ballot. When they then open your ballot and verify your signature, because there is a signature verification section on the envelope, you will also get a notification that says your signature has been validated and your vote has been counted. So, when it comes to mail-in voting, you literally have, let's see here, I already filled out part of this and it's not good for me to show who I voted for. We're not supposed to in the state of Washington. So let's see here. All right, here we go. So basically, though, the ballot's like this. You have to fill in the little circles. It's a paper trail of all of the votes, which means there's no chance of some kind of electronic push button getting a wires crossed and you accidentally voted for Susan when you meant to vote for Jennifer. And so the reason why I bring this up, by the way, you also, once you vote, you put your ballot in your little secret booper-doops so nobody can see it. And then you put it in the signature verification of the verifications. And the best thing is, in the state of Washington, you don't have to put postage on your ballot. The ballot is free to mail. So even if you don't have a stamp, doesn't matter. You can put it in the mail, or if your county provides drop boxes, you can put it in the drop box. So, Andre, they do not send the pamphlet with your ballot. They send those early so you can study them before you get a ballot. That is correct. And then we get the sticker with our ballot. You totally got that. And let's see here. Darlene says that she is going to be going overnight to Madison and do trick-or-treating with the 3 of the granddaughters. That'll be fun. Absolutely. And yes, for those of you who saw it, I'm not gonna lie, the timing was a little ironic and I'm a little embarrassed. So I think it's very clear that Andy has no idea about the fundraiser that we're doing. Because yes, for those of you who may or may not have seen it, Andy went and bought a motorcycle, which frankly filled me with glee. It did, but at the same time, I have to admit, you guys, and I am sorry, I apologize for pimping out the GoFundMe when he's off spending money on a motorcycle. On the other hand, you know what? Screw it. You've only got one life left, and he's living it to the fullest. He missed his bike. He wanted a bike back. And as he mentioned, it is actually saving him some gas money on the trips to and from the hyperbaric chamber. But but you guys, I have to admit, I feel a little silly asking you guys to donate, and then like 2 days later, he's got this video out. So use this information as you will. I still feel like, I mean, first off, his wife was pissed. So I do think that there is some legitimateness to, honey, we don't have the extra money to spend right now. What are you thinking? I do think that that is legit. Yeah, I just wanted to say, hey, as Stream Elements and Shock just threw up, not threw up, but posted up on the chat, that is still a legit cause to donate to. Unfortunately, I do also feel a little silly about the timing of asking for those donations and then his motorcycleness. But if you guys haven't seen the video, I think it's up on YouTube. And you know what, dude? He is so happy on that bike. My heart filled with joy to see him on that motorcycle. So, and Felicia, I ride with my husband. It's good therapy. Exactly. So quite honestly, it is in a way part of the medical protocol treatment. It is medicine for him. It is worth it. Absolutely. But I figured I was debating on bringing this up as a topic. I was like, oh, I kind of feel like an idiot doing this, but since all y'all had already seen it and done it, it's like, all right, well, let's just talk about this now. And so feel free to donate or not. I still think it's a good cause, and I did actually throw down $25 myself. However, I will be throwing down a little bit more once I get some extra cash flow. Still haven't paid my October mortgage yet. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. So yeah, my cash flow is a little bit tight. I've started another job, so that's good. This is a good thing. But yeah, and well, Gina, he wasn't doing it live. He was recording it, and he has years worth of experience recording while he's riding. So, while I can appreciate that sentiment for a lot of people, I have faith that he probably has it under control as much as any motorcycle has their life under control. A motorcyclist, I mean. And let's see here. Are there two? Is there two GoFundMes? I gave the one Danny posted in Facebook. Mitchy Mama, I don't know. I only know of the one that Danny Settle is providing. I think when Andre said he posted money to that video, it was he gave money through a YouTube account. But I actually don't know. But it's the Danny Settle one, the GoFundMe that I am that we have the link here for. And Andre, you found another t-shirt I might like. It will be coming my way. Oh my goodness, Andre. Chances are, if you see me wearing a t-shirt that's got Hawaiian in it, Andre gave it to me. He's outfitting my wardrobe. And Kenny, by the way, many weeks ago, you commented that I wasn't wearing the Pamplemousse t-shirt. You hadn't seen Pamplemousse t-shirt in a while. The reason for that is because the Pamplemousse t-shirt is a very thick t-shirt. It is a winter t-shirt, not a summer t-shirt. But we are getting into the winter season, and so Pamplemousse will be making an appearance. Not just with the drink, but also on my shirt. For those of you who don't know, many moons ago, Kenny from the Cove sent me a cute little shirt. It's a black t-shirt with a white outline of a moose, and it says Pample on it, because he knows that I like my Pamplemousse. And Thomas the Turtle, good to see you. Let's see here. All right, so, and Darlene, it's Andy. It was funny though. Right, totally. When he did mention his wife, but it's still a legit cause for the medical bills, and they are still there, exactly. And like Rick said, Andy sort of justified it with traveling every morning for his treatment, saving on the gas is his explanation. Yeah, Actually, it's funny that you should say that, because after the video and I couldn't help it. I had to do the math, y'all. And I won't say that he's going to come out ahead with the purchase and saving on the gas with the treatments, but I will say that actually it will make a significant difference. And so it's not a bad, not necessarily a bad excuse. So yeah, there you go. It was a very funny video. And I was so glad to see him with such pep in his step, so to speak. I mean, I realized he wasn't walking, so he wasn't stepping, but I think you know what I mean. He can write it off as a mental health expense. Yeah, don't know about that. Now, granted, Andre, if he got a doctor to say that he needed to get one of those, then he probably could. But I'm not so sure he's going to be able to find a doctor that's willing to write him a prescription for a motorcycle. However, I do know people who have gotten pools installed because their doctor said they needed a pool for exercise, and it became a medical expense. So that was cool. And exactly, Rick, it also has resale value. Right, precisely. A prescription for fresh air at 50 miles per hour. I don't know how the IRS would work with that, but yeah, there you go. There you go. And right, exactly. That's exactly right. Darlene, that's what Rick was saying with the resale value. If push comes to shove, he can always turn around and sell it and recoup some of his money. But I don't see that happening. Precisely. Yeah, let's hope it's good for his jaw health. Right, as long as he breathes with an open mouth and that 50 miles an hour air comes in and hits the jaw. Right, there we go. And exactly, Felicia, we all only have one life. We should strive to enjoy it. Precisely, yeah. And, as you get older and you have friends that are getting older, you sort of realize that. And there's plenty of people who don't want to admit they're old, and so they just even then, they need that motorcycle. Keeps them young. And Andre, it is the last carburetor model, so maybe that makes it special. And yeah, I do think that is gonna, I do actually think that as far as like motorcycle geeks go, that year is that model, the last carbureted model probably is, I wouldn't say a good investment, but a better motorcycle investment than most. And yes, he's talking while riding and making videos. Yes, he is. And which is good, gives him something to do, keeps him a little bit busy with something other than doctor's appointments, which honestly would drive me nuts. Going to the doctor's office every single day. I mean, I would do it, but it would get old real quick, don't you think? I think. A write-off is a spare studio. No, I don't think so. No, he would not be able to do that. That much I can say. And I could play that video here and we could editorialize it. Well, funny you should say that, Rick. No, actually, I can't. For some reason, I can't download Andy's videos. I can download a lot of YouTube videos, but Andy's videos, he must have some special encryption on it or something, but I'm not able to download them. And so, Felicia, you're oldering, soon to be 62. Wow, yep, you'll be able to start collecting on Social Security if you want your early collection. And And let's see here. Yeah, nice surprise to find out about the bike and the vlogging. Glad to hear it. So Chuck, exactly. And totally, Darlene, it would be crazy going to appointments and treatments every single day. But let's see here. A business expense for making videos. Partially. Okay, y'all. I'm gonna bore you for a second. When it comes to vehicles, it has a lot to do with the use and the mileage tracking of said vehicle. So the particular amount or percentage of business use, i.e. vlogging and video making, that portion perhaps could be written off, but the bike in its entirety would not be able to be written off in its entirety. So, yeah. And Andre, are motorcycles the last vehicle with manual transmission standard? Maybe, although I do know that a lot of ATVs are still manual transmissions as well. But yeah, I don't really know because I'm not in a market for neither an ATV nor a motorcycle, but I do know that they do make automatic both. And so honestly, I don't know. Does anybody know? Is anybody, it sounds like we got a couple, bike riders here, not bicycle, but motorcycle. Well, actually we've got a couple bicycle riders here too, but we're talking about motorcycles. Do we know, if motorcycles are coming more often in standard transmission now, or is manual still the regular motorcycle configuration? Do you guys know what I'm asking? Why am I not finding the words? And yes, exactly, Darlene. To be honest, bikes can be quite expensive, a lot more in many cases than what Andy paid for his bike. Yeah, Andy's bike, new to him, was actually a really good deal. So I'm also very proud of him for shopping around and finding a nice bike. That's a very good deal. But I am curious though. Do most motorcycles come in automatic transmissions now, or do they still mostly come in standard transmissions, manual transmissions? If anybody has an idea about that, I would love to know. But if they don't, well then we'll both sit here wondering. There you go. Let's see here. I think automatic transmission bikes are not all that common, but there are more and more. Okay, so Shock, you are saying that the manual is still the norm, right? And you don't see the point, frankly. I'm assuming you mean for the automatic transmission bikes. Yeah, I don't I don't see the point in automatic transmissions, frankly, so. And all right, Picola T, thank you so much for checking in. Have a safe flight. Enjoy your Beecher's grilled cheese. We will see you soon. And let's see here, Mitchie Mama, you bet Andy got a good deal because he's Andy Boomatai. Yeah, I don't know. Hard to say, I mean, it depends on that kid. I don't know how old the dude was that sold it to him, and so maybe he just was clueless and didn't even know who he was. And let's see here. Hold on. So electric cycles have electric drive transmissions. Yeah, I knew that once we're talking about electric, things are totally a different deal. And Felicia, okay, so hubby says bikes are mostly manual transmission, and Vespa, for example, is possibly automatic. Okay, right. And let's see here. Shock, there are more and more three-wheel bikes out there, and I do get that if you want to feel the bugs in your teeth, but you got old, or I do get if you want to feel the bugs in your teeth, but you got old, or whatever. And let's see here. Darlene says, and Andy stated he can make with the, all right, let's try again. And Andy stated he can with this make and model of bike. He can work on it if he needs to do so. That's right. And he did say newer bikes are more automatic, and he stated with more electronics, so way harder to work on. Absolutely true. Same with cars. And Let's see here. What's the fun in getting a bike if you can't shift the gears, says Mitchie Mama. Exactly. He said the guy got a more sporty bike. Gotcha. And let's see here. Poppy Shaney, aloha Molly and friends. Us old guys love to give people deals, especially fellow old guys like Andy. I think that Andy was maybe just the only one that was offering, like, here's $3,500 cash, take it or leave it. And he's just like, rather cash in the hand than waiting for a bird in the bush, right? I mean, I don't know. And Andre, those huge Honda Goldwings are automatic because they got reverse gear because they're so big and heavy. Okay, that makes sense. That actually totally makes sense. And let's see here. Let's see here. You were really close to selling your car and you drove a few, but you got back in your car to drive it and you were like, no, I like keep. Yeah, dude, exactly. And Andre, you can shift the gears, just no need for a clutch like the new cars. But I want my clutch. I like my clutch. I like my clutch. And Poppy, Shani, thank you so much for giving a gift sub to Gina and Terry in Scotland. So Terry in Scotland was asking a couple comments ago. When Terry in Scotland and I were playing a game last night, I realized that maybe I'm a little bit more dyslexic than I thought. And I have words that I, make up, as you might know. We have a few stutterisms here. And one of the stutterisms apparently that I said last night was broughton, which is the past tense of the past tense of brought. Yeah, I realize brought is already past tense, but I said broughton. But what made me realize that I was maybe a little bit more dyslexic than I ever thought was, y'all, I really thought there was a word out there called dwaddle. I thought dwaddle was a legit word. And when Terry in Scotland said that is not a legit word, I said, you want to bet? And I looked it up and I was like, dude, see, look, totally, there's dwaddle right here. It means to hesitate and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, that's dawdle. And I was like, yeah, I know that dawdle's a word, but dwaddle's a word too. See right here. And then I looked at it and I realized that that's not, no, dwaddle. Here, I'll write it in the thing. Yeah, dwaddle, right, yeah, so in the chat, I just wrote it. Mad Statter wrote dwaddle. Now, Andre, who apparently is dyslexic, actually knows how to spell dwaddle properly, because it's not dwaddle, it's dawdle, and that's how dawdle is spelt. I thought dawdle was spelt, in my brain, dawdle was spelt like that. D-O-D-D-L-E, that's how dawdle is spelt in my brain. Dwaddle is spelt D-W-A-D-L-E. There's no dwaddle word, that's not a word. And I realize now that the entire time every time I read the word dawdle, my brain sees it as dwaddle. And, I'm 51 years old, and I just thought I learned something yesterday. I'm 51 years old and don't know what words are. I don't know what words are. Yeah, so it's a word now. It's a stutterism, dwaddle. And no need to dwaddle if your package has been broughton. That's exactly it. So, yes, those are words of wisdom to live by. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's slow. It means slow moving. It means wasting time, procrastinating, dilly-dallying, slow moving. Yeah, that's what it means. I mean, I knew what dwaddle meant. Nobody else knew what dwaddle meant. Nobody else knew that dwaddle was a word. Exactly, Trail Dust. You inventorize words all the time. Exactly. Yeah, in fact, actually, God, what was it? There was something that George W. Bush said that was just the wrongest of the wrong, but it was so perfect that I've continued to use it to this day. And I don't remember what word it was. It'll come to me, but it just absolutely, I mean, it was one of his verbal gaffes that people just made fun of, and I made fun of it too, but I make fun of it still, but I still appreciate it and use it to this day because it's funny, and I'm not going to tell you what it is because, yeah, because I don't remember what it is, so, yeah. Kenny from the Cove, your mom always pronounced dawdle as dwaddle. Thank you. See, all right, Kenny's mom knows what she's talking about, all right? Kenny's mom knew what was up. Kenny's mom had it going on. That's right. She knew about dwaddle, but decades before I was even born. Exactly. Yep, dwaddle. It is a thing. And let's see here. Andre says, don't feel bad. As a kid, I thought that elemental P was elemental P, and there was also a regular P. Oh my God, that's funny. And I love that. I love that. Yeah. Hey, his mom is German, right? I don't know. Oh, your mom was a German. Well, I guess yes. His mom was a German immigrant. Well, whatever, dude. Your mom still knew what was up. Your mom still knew what was up. And was it when he said he was I'm the decider? No. No, I wish I could remember. It had something to do with, like, being prepared or something. Well, yeah, G-Dub said a lot of things. G-Dub apparently said the French don't understand the word entrepreneur. Now, you know, I cannot speak to this or not, but the word entrepreneur looks awfully French to me. I don't speak French. I don't know a lot about French. But what I do know is a French-looking word when I see one. An entrepreneur is a French-looking word if I've ever seen one. Oh, that's cute, Kenny. She said fort around when she meant fart around. That's cute. And yes, exactly, Andre. It's American English. We can make up words. And actually, you know, lots of languages make up words. In fact, there is a department in France that makes up words to be used in official lingo all the time. Because there are some words in French that aren't French words, really, like computer. You know, before computers, there wasn't a French word for computer. So this department had to decide what in France are we going to call a computer. I'm not going to tell you what they're going to call it, but I think it's something like le computer or whatever. But they had to go through an official bureaucracy to decide what that word was going to be in France. So it fit in with the language. Because they're really uppity about their language in France. And they get really offended when French Canadians say that they speak French because it's not the same language anymore. And right, okay, Gina, see, the polyglot here, Gina, she probably speaks a little bit of French. And yes, indeed, entrepreneur is a borrowed French word. Let's see here. The UK has the Department of Silly Walks. You cannot be serious, Terry. That has to be a Monty Python skit, right? You're not. You're joking, man. The Department of Silly Walks. You're pulling my leg. Okay, good. Katie Zora's laughing, so I think that Katie's not pulling my leg. She knows it's a joke. I hope. It's a joke, right? Alrighty then. So, we've got about 2 minutes until our Lono listening break, and I gotta tell you guys, this Lono song, you can't download it off of anywhere, so you can only catch it on his YouTube channel. It's called In Kihei. And I'll tell you right now, you guys, every time I hear this song, I think it belongs in a Disney movie. The rhythm of it, the bounciness of it, the words of it, the jovial nature of it, I feel like it belongs to a cartoon. It belongs at the beginning of a Disney movie, and they're like introducing, the Disney movie will obviously take place in Kihei, and they're introducing Kihei to the movie audience. It's a cartoon. This is just how my brain envisions this song. It's a cartoon character bouncing around from one point in Kihei to the other as he's singing, and yeah, and all I can think of is it's a Disney movie song. He should sell it to Disney. And I'm not suggesting that, it's necessarily a compliment. I mean, it's not an insult. It's a catchy tune. But I think Disney could give him a lot of money for that. And so I think he should sell the song to Disney. And Thomas, China has the Department of Silly Walks. You're so funny. And let's see here. There's a council at the University of Hawaii, says Gina, that serves the purpose adapting new words into Olela Hawaii. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the French have one of those too. And let's see here. Kenny, my mom and her German friends were awesome at mispronouncing English words. They'd say things like emergency, ambulance, and groceries instead of saying emergency, ambulance, and groceries. My dad had really weird ways of saying some things, and sometimes I think he did it just to piss us off, which is probably why this just occurred to me. Actually, this is probably where I get my pamplemousse attitude. But he would always say, instead of Olympia, which, by the way, I went to school in Olympia, so this was particularly frustrating. He wouldn't say Olympia. He always called it Olympia, with an F instead of a P. An F instead of a P. Olympia. Yeah. And Saturday, I mean, that's obviously Saturday. I don't know. Saturday just sort of sounds like a southern way of saying Saturday. And, right, there you go, Darlene. It reminds you of your Polish grandparents and their words. Grandpa spoke broken English with Polish mixed in. Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, good. He was messing with me, Pavi Shady. I don't think that there's silly walks. Although I do think that I might believe Thomas, China has a Department of Silly Walks. All right, y'all. So 2 minutes past our Lono listening break. So let's listen to what I consider Lono's Disneyest Disney tune to ever not belong to Disney. All right, let's do it, y'all.
Dawning, we're about to start a beautiful day. Will we go west side? Kind of a long drive. Think I'm gonna stay right here in Kihei. In Kihei, islands on the ocean, there we'll spend our sunny days. The beach is in reach. We're sailing the South Shore down at the Cove Park, watching the waves. Poolside with some of our friends at the Oasis. The fun never ends. It's the island rhythm, this side of Maui. Look at the moonlight shining so bright. In the islands and the oceans, there we will spend our sunny days. The beach is in reach, we're sailing the South Shore down at the Cove Park, watching the whales. Blue skies today. Blue skies in Kihei. Here comes the trade wind blowing away. All all of the troubles you're feeling today. Look at the people having a good time. They get the rhythm when they hear Marty Dread. It's the sensation sweeping the nation. Yes, it began right here in Kihei. In Kihei, islands and the oceans, they will spend our sunny days. The beaches in reach, we're sailing the South Shore down at the Cove Park, watching the waves. Blue skies today, blue skies. Comes a trade wind blowing away all of the troubles you're feeling today.
All right, there we go. Now I've got some reverb. Oops, oops, oops. Now I don't. Alrighty, there we go. Thank you so much, Andre, for the 600 biddies. I had to do some mathises there. And let's see here. Hanson is now 5, and he was very excited to tell you a joke the other day. When a pilot gets sick, what do you call his sickness? The flu. Oh, there you go. There you go. That is so awesome. Got a little dad joke maker in the works there. Awesome, awesome. And let's see here, Gina, linguistics is probably the best example outside of biology of the evolution and how languages have to adapt and grow to survive. Languages borrow from each other constantly. Oh, abso-flippin'-lutely, yeah, totally. And let's see here. I'm still trying to find a Lazy Beach shirt for Lono and Molly. Lazy Beach is a local beer brewed in Corpus Christi, Texas. It's not Corpus Crispy. No, it's Corpus Christi. And let's see here. Yeah, exactly, Darlene. I can't really believe, I mean, I guess I can believe that Anson is 5 now. And he must be starting school, I would assume. Yes, kindergarten. That's exciting. That is so very exciting. I hope he's enjoying it, at least. Most kindergartners generally like kindergarten. First grade is when the real school starts usually, and it sort of sucks. Let's see here. Let's see. And oh, that's so funny, Poppy Shaney. He was just laughing before he could even get the punchline out. Oh my God. Yeah, I love it when that happens. People, I honestly have to say, it's frustrating when it happens to me. But I love it when people are trying to tell a joke, but because they know the punchline already, and they've just cracked themselves up just trying to tell the joke. It's rarely that funny to anybody else, but it is so cute. And yes, when you say lazy beach, your dyslexia kicks in and you think of another sentence, another phrase. I think that's sort of I think was the intention there with that particular choice of branding. All right, so let's see here. What do we have here? Oh, speaking of beers, y'all. So, I watch a lot of random stuff on the YouTubes, and there's this one particular content creator. I think, honestly, I don't even know her name. I think it's Michelle, the bartender. Anyway, she is a bartender, or was a bartender. I'm going to assume she still is. And she makes little skits about random stuff that happens at a bar. And this one particular skit caught my eye because I knew that this was true a while ago. Strategery! Okay, we're gonna go back to this. Yes, Rick, strategery. Strategery. That is exactly the word, strategery. Thank you. That was really bugging me. Strategery was the word, and I still use that because to me that is the funny, that was such a funny mess up, and I just can't help but not. Strategery. I still use that word. And I wonder if people know what I'm, like, when I do say that word, I do wonder if people, like, think that I think that that's actually a word, or if they're picking up on the joke that I'm trying to make. But yes, strategery. Thank you so much, Rick. Because honestly, I would have woken up at 3 o'clock this morning, sat bolt upright in bed, and been like, strategery! There we go. And, oh no, Andre, kindergarten was hell. It was so bad. You were so traumatized. You just slept through first grade. Oh, yep. There you go. Yes, Rick, indeed. That was it. And, oh, you used that word too? Oh, good. That if you dropped that word in conversation, Rick, with me, especially prior to this conversation, I would have hugged you. I would have just been like, you're my people, man. I use that word too. All right, so Darlene, you are in Wisconsin. Rick, you are in Wisconsin. eMusic, you are in Wisconsin. And this video, I am specifically asking you this question. Is this a thing in Wisconsin? And I'm going to show you this video. It's from Michelle, the bartender. And apparently this happened to her in her North Carolina bar. And I just have to wonder, and yeah, I don't know, I might get copyright dunged, but this is a cute little skit that she made, and I'm kind of confused and a little bit gobsmacked that this is actually a rule. So is this actually a rule? And yeah, here we go.
We're here visiting from Wisconsin. We're just down here checking out colleges. She's always wanted to move down south. But to start, we'll take 2 Dirty Shirleys, please. Welcome. I hope you find one that you really like. I'll get those drinks started, but can I just see y'all's IDs first? Why do you need to see our... Oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm her mother. That's fine, but do you have your IDs? Are you trying to make sure that we have the same last name? No, it's just because she looks really young, and so I just need to see her ID to make sure she's over 21. But I'm her mother. Do you not believe me? I believe you. That's not the issue at all. I just need to verify that she's over 21 before I can serve her. If I'm with her, you can absolutely serve her. That law you're talking about may be the law up there, but in North Carolina, you have to have a valid ID stating you're over 21 in order to legally be served, no matter who you're with. So that's just a Wisconsin law? See, honey, this is why you need to stay local, close to home.
I don't know what you're talking about. All right, so yeah, so my question is, well, no. That's not what I'm asking, Darlene. What I'm asking is, a mom or a parent can take their kid into a bar and the kid can drink as long as the mom or dad is there? Like, that's really a thing? As far as showing your ID, no, in the state of Washington, literally every single person who comes into a bar must show their ID. Literally every single time you purchase alcohol, you're supposed to show ID. So that's not the issue. Well, and then there's that, Kenny. It's like, just show the ID. You're at a bar, like that, because especially like where I'm coming from in Washington, like if they want to see your ID and you don't show it to them, you're not going to get served at all. Now, some places, especially if they know you, they're not going to ask for your ID every time. But as somebody who has gone through bartender training for the state of Washington, you are absolutely supposed to verify every single person's age that you are serving. And so, and that requires not only looking at the ID, but actually physically taking the ID from the person so you can feel as to whether or not it's been altered. You can look at it, you can get the holograms and all the everythings that all the IDs have now. And no, Andre, exactly. They didn't need to ask you for, no, at WACU, obviously, it's not a lot of bars, it is mandatory requirement to show your ID. WACU, you're not going, you've got gray hair, but my friend, you're not gonna get carded. But believe me, I've seen plenty of people get carded at WACU who it's like, I don't know, they look like they're 27 to me, but the bartender's just like, they look like they're 12 to me, so So yeah, the asking for the ID isn't really, to me, that's just whatever. But primarily, yes, Darlene says you can do that, but not if they're very young, right? But they'll still ask unless you're in, say, a neighborhood bar you frequently go to. Right. Okay, that looks, the fact if they already know you and they've seen your ID, that's not that big of a deal. And that's exactly it, Mitchie Bamba. The one time they don't ask, that's when the Liquor Control Board comes in and is like, yeah. But okay, so they do. Okay, so Rick, in the older days, parents could actually order beer for underage kids. I think that ended a few years ago. Okay, all right. And then Terry, going back to the other topic of Bush-isms, they misunderestimated me, he says, in Bentonville, Arkansas in 2000. Misunderestimated is also a good one, but that one I never remember. But the strategery, that's the one. Well, I don't always remember strategery, obviously, but the strategery one is the one that just, I loved that. And let's see here. Okay, Rick gets offended, and at times, mostly in stores purchasing, he'll just walk out saying, really? Look at me. Do I look underage? Yeah, well, Rick, obviously when it comes to some places, it is a little bit insulting, but like at the 7-Eleven that I go to, they require every single purchase, even though every clerk knows me, and every clerk knows, they actually know my birthday by heart. One of them, she was like, oh, I know your birthday, June 14th, blah, blah, blah. They know me, but they're on camera. And so if they are seen by management selling beer without looking at an ID or asking for an ID, they can get in a lot of trouble. Even if they asked for your ID every single flipping time, if you don't show them the ID, they're not allowed. And I know this because one of the cashiers actually said to me once, I like that you always have it ready for me. She's like, but if you ever don't have your ID, she's like, we all know who you are here, so all we need you to do is show us some sort of card, because then on the video it looks like we checked your ID. So if you ever come in here without your ID one day, don't worry about it, she said. If it's someone who knows you, just make it look like you're showing us your ID. And so I'm going to go out on a limb and say the groceries or the stores that are requiring you to show the ID are probably under similar video watching. And and I really thought it was funny that they like told me, the little workaround. And Rick, I have no doubt that you have beard hair older than some of those liquor store clerks asking for ID. But if they're on camera and their boss sees that they didn't ask somebody for an ID, they could lose their job if it's the policy of that particular grocery store, right? You know? And 7-Eleven, since the 7-Eleven that's down the street from my house used to be a franchise operation, and they played by their own rules. But now that it's a corporate operation, it's a totally different ballgame, and it is a completely different store now. And so you have to show your every time. And Poppy Shaney, though, I think that is probably the best thing. Rick, what you need to do next time you go to a store that asks is just say, don't mess with Santa if you want a present. I think that is actually a really good response. And Terry in Scotland, and one more Bushism. What? I know the human being and fish can coexist peacefully. Yeah, I didn't know that was... I didn't know that was even a question. And Kenny from the Cove, exactly. Every convenience store around here will card everyone if they even suspect the liquor control board is observing them. That's exactly it. And that's the whole thing, is the Liquor Control Board in Washington sends in people. Like, they send in people that, like, you know, they'll send in a 21-year-old, 22-year-old to go buy booze. And if they don't, they'll send in like an 18 or 19-year-old to go buy booze. And if they manage to, buy it, then that store gets in a lot of trouble. You never know when you're selling alcohol. I obviously I can't speak to Texas's laws, but in Washington, especially, if the liquor control board walks in, the mystery shoppers. That's exactly what they are. They're mystery shoppers, and you never know when a customer is one of those. And so, you just you got to do what you got to do. But at the same time, I can appreciate why it gets annoying when people ask, because for real, you do. I mean, no offense, man, but you do look over 21 by more than just a few years. You really do. I don't think you're going to take offense to that, but you don't really look that young. I will give you that. And in this day and age, with the strange things that the kids are doing, which is dyeing their hair gray and silver, I guess it is possible that even though you've got gray hair, because it used to be a sign, if you've got gray hair, chances are you're over 21, right? But I suppose now it's just like, well, people spend a lot of money to make their hair gray, and they might not be 21 because kids are weird these days. Andre, thank you so much for giving Just Scuzzy a gift sub. And let's see here. Katie from the Cove, the 7-Eleven you buy my house will card you for alcohol, tobacco, and lottery tickets. Wow, they've been gigged for violations in all three of those categories. Crazy. Yeah, well then they're definitely going to be, carding for everything. Now, The funny thing is, with the state of Washington, you're supposed to be 18 in order to play the lottery, but now most places that have lottery tickets, the lottery tickets are from a vending machine. How? I mean, I'm sorry, but how is the vending machine is not going to ID you? And so, I just don't really know what Washington State was thinking in regards to their vending machine lottery tickets. I mean, it's not that big of a vice, I guess. But then again, I don't have a gambling problem, and some people really do have gambling problems. Well, Gina, the vending machines can scan IDs, but they're not. They don't. The vending machines don't ask for IDs. That much I can tell you, because I buy my lottery tickets from the vending machine, and I just don't understand. I mean, to me, it's just like you can buy cigarettes if you're 18, you can buy lottery tickets if you're 18. 7-Eleven would never have a cigarette machine, a cigarette vending machine, ever. Ever. So why on earth is the state of Washington okay with a lottery ticket machine? It confuses me, but whatever. And let's see here. What? Andre? What? No. What? What? Hold on, Andre. In some states, they sell ammo out of a vending machine. And they do scan IDs and take a picture. Wow. I had no idea that there was a vending machine full of ammo. That's insane. I mean, I guess it's not any more insane than a vending machine full of cigarettes, a vending machine full of booze, a vending machine full of whatever, right? But for some reason, I find it a little bit more disturbing, and I don't actually know why. And Gina, only once or twice, you very rarely play the lottery. Yeah, I play $10. I buy 5 $2 tickets once a week. It's my little Friday splurge. I like to do my crossword. But this last week, they didn't have the crosswords, so I had to do bingos. And I don't really like doing bingo, but I won $2. And, let's see here. Kenny, the great clips you go to for your Jason Statham haircut always looks at when I check out. Tried to give the military and senior discounts, even though I don't qualify for either one. Well, shoot, dude. I mean, if you can get the military discount because of the haircut, right? Might as well. And let's see here. Andre's coming in. The vending machine sold by a company called American Rounds sells ammunition that can be used in handguns, rifles, and shotguns. They have been installed in Texas, big shock, Oklahoma, big shock, and Alabama, big shock. So far, a Texas-based company has started making vending machines for gun ammunition and arguing that this is the safest way to sell it. And Mama Sean, because they don't care if you spend the money, but you can't redeem it for any prize if you are under 18. Oh, so you've got to find somebody and, hey, go cash in my lottery ticket, but don't steal from me. Okay, I get it. And let's see here, all right. And let's see here, shock. I signed up for some necessary government service and had to send them my ID, and their robot looked at me through my webcam to validate it was me. If that's good enough for them, it's good enough for 12 gauge. Yeah, I guess. And yeah, in some states you can buy ammo at the supermarkets. Oh, that's true. Well, shoot, I mean, back when I was growing up, you could buy ammo at at Kmart. You could buy ammo at Value Giant. You could buy ammo, obviously, at the sporting goods store. You can still buy ammo at Big Five, because that's the only sporting goods store that I can think of in my neighborhood now. So yeah, I guess, but that's just so weird. Really, in California, you have to get a background check every time you buy ammo? Wow, interesting. Although that doesn't surprise me, because I've often wondered why more states don't try to curb the gun issue by tackling access to ammunition, because the guns are mentioned in the Constitution, but the ammunition is not. And so I always wondered why people didn't utilize that as a workaround to the whole Second Amendment issue. But then somebody pointed out, dude, you can make your own ammunition at home, so that would hardly work. And so, that being said, it is Darlene, it seems like a good argument until you get told you can make ammunition at home. So by doing that, you would basically just open up a whole black market of ammunition, which is quite possibly more dangerous than what we've got now, all things considered. so I guess, but and most people cannot make ammo. Well, right, but that doesn't mean that they don't know a dude who can. Because all it takes is knowing a dude. Or conversely, knowing a dude who knows a dude. And by dude, I just mean a person who has that skill. It could be of any sex. So yeah. Hey, Chris, good to see you coming on in from the road. And hold on, let's see here. Kenny from the Cove, there are penalties for accepting military favors if you're not active duty or former military. You can end up with a vacation at the Gray Bar Motel, striped sunlight included. Got it. I see. And let's see here. Yeah, you print up guns here in Cal. Actually, I think a lot of people print up their guns these days. The ghost guns, that's not terrifying or anything. All right, you guys. Well, let's see here. Yeah, exactly. Right, Darlene. Exactly. You've got a better point with that argument. Better if under proper regulated ammo making and purchasing. Yeah, totally. It's like, it seemed like a good, which that is a perfect example of a law that like a Democrat could totally pass and then in retrospect just be like, that was a bad idea. That was not a good, I just made things worse, like Kenny was, or like Terry in Scotland was saying why he couldn't be a certain kind of politician because he has a tendency to recognize when he screws stuff up. I think the Democrats might actually have a couple of those moments too. And Andre, did I know that black powder guns are not considered weapons? So you can buy them without a background check. I don't know what a black powder gun is, but I'm assuming that's like a musket. But I don't know what a black powder gun is, so I don't understand what that means. But I have to admit, if it's got black powder and it's a gun, I'm a little confused about how it's not a weapon. I mean, a BB gun could actually be a weapon. So how is... What's a black powder gun, y'all? I don't know. They make revolvers. Wait, revolvers aren't considered a weapon? Wait, what? Revolvers are not considered a weapon? Because revolvers are a weapon. Not if they use black powder. I don't understand what that means. Alright, so Mama Sean said you had a press pass for Longacres when you were a young teen and could buy your own race tickets, but had to have your brother or dad cash in anything. Got it. And wow, Thomas, a shop south of you in Montrose, Pennsylvania. Donuts and ammo! Why do I feel like there's cops that hang out there a lot? Wife sells gourmet donuts, husband sells the ammo. Okay, there we go. Ammo, well, ammo and guns. Oh, he sells the ammo and the guns. Okay. Wow. I mean, it's America, and if there's a market for it, there you go. And I suppose it's kind of a good use of space. Probably neither the gun shop, nor the ammo shop, nor the donut shop could survive on its own. So real estate markets, real estate rental commercial real estate rental being what it is, might as well just use the space to its fullest and max out every square inch for every dollar you can get from the public. We got donuts and we got ammo. All right. I mean, you know, they probably don't have a lot of competition. Right? I'm running low on some ammo and I'm in the mood for cruller. I think I'm gonna go to donuts and ammo. Sip on some coffee, munch on a donut while I peruse the new collection of the gun catalog or something. Andy has free overnight RV parking. Of course he does. Of course he does. And Curtis, good to see you. I guess it's considered an antique and slow to reload. I guess. So let's see here, Andre. In Alaska, you might need the gun and ammo to protect your donut from a bear or a moose. That is true. But I'm not so sure Pennsylvania has that many bears to be worried about. Well, actually, I'm sure they do probably have bears in Pennsylvania, but not grizzlies. Not the way Alaska has grizzlies. And they definitely don't have moose, I don't think. Do they have moose? Are there moose in Pennsylvania? I know that Pennsylvania's got a lot of rural areas. You may need to protect your donut from a cop. Yeah, well, that's true. That's probably the biggest risk in Pennsylvania. And let's see here. So this has kind of turned into an absurd little bit of a conversation, but you know, we're chattering our scattering here. Our scattering our chattering here. And let's see here. So Terry in Scotland, black powder guns, also known as muzzle loaders, are firearms that use loose black powder as a propellant and are loaded from the muzzle end of the barrel. They typically consist of a barrel, stock, and ramrod and are often used for recreational shooting, hunting, and historical reenactments. Okay, so a muzzle loader, but I don't know. So like a musket, I guess was what I. But how can a revolver? How can a revolver be a muzzle loader? Because the revolver has the chamber. So barrel, stock, and ramrod, there's no chamber. Revolvers have a chamber. And so I don't understand how a revolver is a black powder gun. You load each of the chambers through the barrel? Oh, okay. I don't understand. I didn't know that exists. Clearly I'm confused. I had no idea that's how they did that. Okay, there you go. And yeah, Darlene, I think there's a little pellet bullet projectile. And Kulika, 1965, coming in to help a very confused woman like me. Each cylinder is loaded on the side, one at a time. Okay. Huh. Well, I learned something new today. I don't know if you learned something new today, but I learned something new today. And let's see here. Kenny from the Cove. You want to be a convenience store millionaire in Texas? Here's what you got to sell. Beer, bait, ammo, lottery, fuel, and microwavable burritos. Fair enough. Now, you have to be sure that you're not in a dry county if you're going to sell that beer. And I know that because there was a time in my life where I didn't actually drink a whole lot of beer. Very rarely drank beer. Very rarely drank at all. And I was on a cross-country road trip, and I got through into Texas, and finally, just out of the spur of the moment, out of the blue, spur of the moment, I thought to myself, I really would like to have some beer when I hit the hotel tonight. When I stop to get gas at the next place I stop to get gas, I'm going to buy some beer. Because suddenly, out of the blue, I feel like I want a beer. Well, as it turns out, I think the reason why suddenly out of the blue that I wanted the beer is because I had driven into a dry county, and my body on a cellular level wants to break a law, I guess, because I went and I got my gas, and I went inside to get the beer and to pay for the gas, and lo and behold, they had no beer. I walked around that store twice looking for the beer section, couldn't find it. Finally had to ask a local. He basically pointed and laughed at me and said, "You're not from here, are you?" Clearly I'm not. But yeah, dry county, no beer for you. So yeah, the one time that I actually craved a beer out of the blue for no reason, there was no beer to be had. Nope, not one beer to be had. And, oh right, Kenny, of course, and then hunting and fishing licenses. There you go, there you go. Although hunting and fishing licenses, I don't know about in Texas, but you can get them online now in Washington, so you don't even have to go to the store anymore. When I went and did my clamming earlier last year, this year in May, I got my fishing license straight online, and the guy that I was with, he was convinced that I was not going to be able to do that, but I did. There you go. And Andre, they sell bait at convenience stores? Oh yes, some convenience stores sell bait. Shoot, they sell bait at grocery stores too here in Washington. But yeah, for sure, dude, totally. At not maybe at a 7-Eleven, but like at a mom and pop grocery store. Oh yeah, totally. Or a mom and pop convenience store, totally. Oh, you just have bait stores? Oh, trippy. Yeah, no. And oh no, Rick, no beer. That happened to you once in I don't know how to say that word. I don't know how to say that word. And Kulika, right, love online fishing licenses. Yes. Yeah, that way you can just flash your phone and say, "I'm legal, Warden. I'm legal." And let's see here. When I came through Texas, Coryell County, where I live, was dry. Fortunately, those days are gone with the wind. Oh, that's good. That's good. And let's see here. Oh, wow. Really, Andre's saying that a lot of 7-Eleven is losing money because not as many people are smoking or drinking, at least from 7-Elevens. They are closing a lot of them because of this. That does not surprise me at all, actually. That totally makes sense, actually. Because cigarettes, really, I mean, there was times where I have stood in line at the 7-Eleven and just the 5 people in front of me, you know, are buying cigarettes, and between the 5 people in front of me, they just literally, like, in less than 10 minutes, spent $150 or you know, got $150 worth of cigarette sales out of like 5 people, you know, and it's just like, wow, that's like a cash cow. You can earn $100 every 10 minutes just selling smokes. But I don't see those lines anymore. Like, you're totally right. A lot of people are not smoking, like they used to. And, let's see here, Terry, when I lived in Quanah, Texas, the nearest liquor store was 30 miles away. Now Quanah sells beer and wine in supermarkets. Yep, exactly. Kenny from the Cove. In fact, there's a liquor store within easy walking distance of my house. Hooray me. Yeah, we don't have liquor stores. Well, we do have liquor stores here, but we also have them in the grocery stores. Washington used to be a liquor store only place to get the hard alcohol. You could get beer and wine at grocery stores and convenience stores, but when it came to the hard stuff, you had to go to the state-run liquor stores. But then Costco decided that they wanted to sell booze, and so they took on the state of Washington and got the law changed for the most part. And now the booze costs like twice as much as it used to when it was sold by the state stores. So, yay. Yeah. And yeah, Andre, we can get booze sent here, but you have to sign for it. And yeah, exactly. Show your ID. And yes, you have Uber to bring you booze here. Yes, we do that up here too. In fact, actually, my dad, I think, was the first one probably to use an Uber-like service to get his booze, because back when he lived at the home and I took his car away, he had to figure out how to get his booze. And instead of taking a taxi 2 ways to the liquor store and back, instead he would just pay a taxi driver to go buy him a bunch of booze and bring it to him, and then he'd pay for the whole thing. And so, yeah, he had his own booze delivery service back before there was a booze delivery service. He figured out how to get it done, which I have to admit, I was kind of proud of him about that. And dry goods, they called them in Minnesota. Yeah, they call them package stores in places like Georgia. But all right, here. So, 2-minute warning was given. Now we've got the 1-minute warning. Says Shock, we are going to wrap it up, which means I want to ask you guys one more time, if you've got a spooky story that you want to share with the Satterbox crew, send it my way at madsatter@gmail.com. And I've got a couple stories that we're going to share on Wednesday, October 30th. That is the day before Halloween, and so that's going to be our spooky stream. And then on Saturday, we're going to do Statterbox at the Cinema on Map Statter, as per usual, Map with a P on Twitch, and we're going to be watching Coco. Why? We've already watched Coco so many times. I know we have, but we watch it once a year, the first Saturday after Halloween. No matter what. It's a tradition. Whether or not you like it or not, I don't care. I love the movie. I want a reason to watch it. We're gonna watch it. And I know that's a horrible, horrible attitude to have. I don't care if you like it or not. It's not something that I normally would say. But it is what I'm gonna say about Coco. Because Coco is one of my favorite movies. Thank you for your support. All right, you guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. Thanks so much for chattering. Mods, thank you so much for keeping me in line. Thankfully, we didn't have a whole lot that we had to do to keep other people in line. Thank you so much for the biddies. Thank you so much for the subs. Thank you so much for the gift subs. And mostly thank you for the chattery. And so, we will hopefully see each other 5 p.m. West Coast time on Wednesday. And if we don't, hopefully we'll see each other 6 p.m. West Coast time on Saturday. And thank you for the 400 biddies, Andre. With that, I think we're going to shut this production down. All right, take care, y'all. Have a good one.